About 1765, near Reedy River Falls, stood the home, trading station, and grist mill of Colonel Richard Parris, first white settler of this section. He was a noted Indian trader and prominent Tory of the Revolution. And if you guys stick around, you're going to be in for a real good treat, because we're going to check out the actual Fall Rivers Park, which is very scenic and nicely developed. Let's go. Good afternoon, good people. This is P9 with another vlog, and I am here in the city of Greenville, South Carolina. So we're going to walk through the city, the downtown area primarily, but also hit up some other parts of downtown and some nice parks. So just vibe with me. So Greenville, South Carolina is a city located in the Upstate region of South Carolina. It's located in Greenville County, and it has a population of over 70,000 residents, and that's as of the 2020 census. So it's good for the sixth largest city in the state of South Carolina. So it is one of the larger cities in the state. And as you're going to see as I'm walking downtown, this downtown area is pretty massive, more massive and spread out than I initially anticipated. But this building right here on the right, this tall building, is called the Landmark Building, and it houses the Windstream Telecommunications Company. So you also have this home to suites right here. So we're gonna take a walk down Main Street and check out some of the cross streets as well. It's a really nice sunny morning or afternoon, because it's really more or less approaching the afternoon right now. It's almost 11:30 local time as we speak, but nevertheless pretty nice morning. Clear skies, about 83 degrees. It's the Ogletree building right here. So aside from just being in the upstate South Carolina, Greenville is located in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. So it's definitely the largest city in this particular region of the state. As I reach the corner of Main Street and College Street, a sushi spot right here. So as usual, we're gonna see a lot of we're gonna see hotels, we're gonna see a multitude of restaurants, cafes, art galleries, you name it. Things you'll typically see in a downtown area of a city. Also going to see some nice sculptures and some really cool exhibits. Now this sculpture right here, this is a sculpture of the Honorable Max Heller. So Max Heller was a mayor of Greenville between 1971 and 1979. And they have this nice sculpture of him right here on Main Street. And apparently they have, I guess, this display right here of a timeline of Max Heller's life. So that's him right there as a child. And I guess that's him and his parent, his mother and his sister. And I exclude the son. The son is glaring into the, but I just wanted to give you guys a glimpse of this really nice timeline that they have in honor of Max Heller. You know, his family immigrated from I think it was from Austria. Or Germany. I think he's from Germany. He's probably from Germany. Escaped to America. Wow, so this guy came from Europe and eventually, you know, became the mayor of Greenville. So, and they chronicle this man's entire life, it seems like, over here. When he met his future wife. Wow, okay. Entrepreneur, but yeah. But yeah, they have a whole thing. And this is basically when he became mayor. When he was elected to city council and actually the first African American to serve on the city council for Greenville. It was basically back in 1977 during Max Heller's tenure as mayor. So yeah, that's him right there. That's him right there. Elected to city council in 1968. Focus on making housing affordable and sustainable. And this is just basically a history of downtown Greenville. The 50s and the early 60s saw a decline in downtown Greenville. And you know, you had those shopping centers, of course, that were built on the outskirts of downtown, which caused a lot of businesses to struggle and eventually close downtown. But basically Max Heller in the 70s revitalized downtown. He made it a priority to do so. So here's just some images right here of downtown back in the 50s through the 70s. Max Heller's vision of a attractive, inviting, prosperous downtown would eventually become a reality. Okay. Entrance of North Main. So it was also during this time where North Main Street, which is the street we're on now, was developing. And then the Hyatt Regency Hotel was built in the late 70s. So it's basically a urban development grant from the federal government that the city of Greenville received, and they used it to revitalize and further add to develop Main Street downtown. And yeah, so economic diversity. So it basically just highlights the challenges that the city faced throughout the course of its history. Inspired leadership. So apparently Max Heller was a man of the people, true and visionary and inspired leader. He survived the torments of war and religious persecution to become a successful businessman who decided that rather than retire, he enjoyed the fruits of his labors. Pretty cool. We must care about everybody. Max Heller, Mayor of Greenville, South Carolina. And he plays a huge part in the success and the revitalization of downtown Greenville. So shout out to Max Heller. Over here in Noma Square, downtown Greenville. And they have this Kilwin's ice cream shop right here. And so it looks like a collection of like little shops and cafes over here. And they also have this nice sculpture right here. It's called the Orbital Trio. It was sculpted in 2013 by John T. Acorn. It's a really nice sculpture. And it shows basically, it looks like a bunch of planets with orbits around them. So it highlights the orbits of what looks like potentially Saturn or some type of planet. I'm not sure what it is, but it's called the Orbital Trio by John T. Acorn. Shout out to John T. Acorn for this nice sculpture right here. It looks like it's stainless steel. But it sits outside the Hyatt Regency Hotel. There goes the hotel over there. Look at this. So the sculpture says mice on Main. Can you find the other 8 mice south down Main Street? Based on the book Goodnight Moon by Margaret Wise Brown. Mice on Main was created as a senior project by Jimmy Ryan, class of 2000. And the sculptures were by Zan Wells. But look at this right here. So apparently they had a bunch of mice coming down Main Street, and I'm guessing that's what the book Goodnight Moon was based on. Or that sculpture was based on the book, rather. Bertolo's Pizza. Artists Guild Gallery of Greenville. So you have an art gallery down here. I'm at the corner of Main Street and North Street, both east-north and west-north. West-north goes down that way. Go ahead and cross. A lot of neat shops on this stretch of road. Called the Sacred Chakra. That's a cool name. It's like some pretty cool merchandise in here as well. Smells good. Like they have some incense, probably like some incense or something burning out of there. Greenville Gemstone Mine. Some pretty cool shops right over here at the corner of Main and North Street. Look guys, we're only 5 blocks away from Falls Park. O.P. Taylor's. Wow, they have this mass general store right here. It's been here since 1883. Yeah, the football season coming up. Look, got the South Carolina Gamecocks, Clemson Tigers. Shout out to football season coming up. It's actually this weekend. As a matter of fact, oh, it's a Cream Shack. Cream Shack ice cream. Now they have this section closed off. I'm not sure what they're going to do right here. I don't know if they plan on redeveloping or doing some type of paving of the streets or whatever the case may be. They're doing or some type of construction. I'm not sure what they're going to do over here, but they have this blocked off. But they have the businesses that surround it that are still open. And you have this really nice sculpture of a dog and what looks like a cat on top of it with a bird on top of the cat's tail. And this sculpture was done by Dale Rogers in 2022. Shout out to Dale Rogers. Really nice sculpture right here that sits on this circle with the artificial turf right there, as you can see. So I'm at the corner of Main Street and Coffee Street now. Nice Camry right there. Nice Toyota Camry. My girlfriend has a Camry. I saw that Camry, it reminded me of her. Just waiting to cross this street right here on Coffee Street, ready for the light to change. I'm gonna go check out Coffee real quick, and then I'll come back on this side of Main Street, get some more footage. Trio Brick Oven Cafe right here. Coffee Underground. Huh. So they have a coffee shop down there. That's pretty cool. Coffee Underground. Frank's Gentleman's Salon. Yeah, it look like they have some cool restaurants down Coffee Street as well. So these are off of Main Street. Cowboy Up Saloon, Ink Ivy. They have a deli across the street called Groucho's. Brown Street. I guess that's Brown Street down there. Over here on East North Street, I'm over here by the courthouses. And on one side you have the federal courthouse. So this is the federal courthouse right here. It's called the Carroll Campbell Courthouse. And right across the street from it is the county courthouse, the Greenville County Courthouse. Now the Greenville County Courthouse, which is also known as the Family Courts Building, was built in 1918. It's in the Beaux Arts style architecture. So over 100 years later, it still stands right here at the corner of Church Street and East North. Now the courthouse I just passed by on the right was a federal courthouse called the Carroll Campbell Courthouse. It was named after the 112th governor of South Carolina, who served from 1987 to 1995. So his full name is Carroll A. Campbell Jr. And that's who that federal courthouse was named after. Over here walking down Church Street, and hence the name Church Street. You're gonna see a few churches down this street. There goes one right there. Now Greenville, along with the rest of the upstate region, has experienced massive population growth over the years, and the upstate region leads in population growth within the state of South Carolina. Now, what's fostering this growth in the population is the economic development in Greenville and the upstate region as a whole. Major companies like BMW and Michelin have a strong presence in the region. They do have factories out in Greenville. So that attracts a lot of job seekers looking to enter the workforce here in the region. But one thing about it is that with massive population growth comes a huge demand of housing and infrastructural improvements. So they have to improve the roads to accommodate the population growth, as well as build housing. And Greenville, offers very affordable options for renters and buyers. So that is what attracts a lot of people to the region. But the only thing about that is, the caveat with that is that with massive population growth, a lot of time causes increases in prices because of the rise in demand. But overall, Greenville is a really nice city. I enjoyed visiting, and there's more footage to come, so stay tuned. And it looks like there's another courthouse over here. So we're basically kind of like in the courthouse district. I mean, I don't know if that's what the neighborhood's called, or the section of the city's called, but I pretty much named it myself, courthouse, because all these courthouses over here. This is a federal building right here. It's called the Clement Haynesworth Jr. Federal Building. This is right next to the Spring Hill Suites Hotel. In a classical brick apartment building, what it looks like over here. All this at the corner of Washington Street and Church Street. I'm at the corner of Spring Street and Washington Street, as you can see right here. And in this building right here, which is now a residential building, and at the ground level of Anytime Fitness, it was here at this site where the Liberty Theater used to be located. And this is a huge part of Greenville's downtown history. It was a gentleman by the name of Clayton Pegleg Bates who came to Greenville in 1921 looking for a stage and big city fame. He found his stage at the Liberty Theater. Audiences loved his ambitious act from the start. Little did the young one-legged tap dancer know that the theater would open his door to international fame. Bates started tap dancing at the age of 5 for pennies on the streets corners of Fountain Inn. At the age of 12, he lost his left leg in a cotton gin accident. Many thought his dreams to dance had ended, but he was determined to show audiences that despite the loss of his leg, he could still be a great dancer. The applause and standing ovations for Bates were routine at the Liberty Theater, the first movie theater with the vaudeville stage in Greenville for black entertainers. The Liberty Theater was located near this site on Spring Street. It anchored the downtown commercial area for black residents. The Spring Street block included a barbershop, shoe shine alley, cafes, pool hall, and other businesses. Every week, fans awarded Bates top prize on amateur nights for his incredible act of inventive tap dances and acrobatic leaps. When the Liberty Theater opened, it was one of the few theaters in the Southeast where New York producers looked for local aspiring talents. Bates was a teenager when he started dancing at the Liberty Theater. In 1926, New York producer Eddie Leonard saw his unbelievable performance. Leonard asked Bates to join his Dancing Dina revue and promised to help promote the young dancers act on vaudeville circuit. Departing the Liberty Theater in 1926 to take his act to Philadelphia and then to New York, Bates danced a year later on Broadway and headline shows at the Cotton Club and Apollo Theater. Bates appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show 21 times during the 1950s, more than any other single entertainer on the national television program. Wow, that's interesting. This is actually my first time hearing about Pegleg Bates, Clayton Pegleg Bates. So yeah, that was really dope part of history. And after 5 decades as a center of vaudeville and movie entertainment for blacks, a Liberty Theater was demolished in the early 1970s to clear space for a parking deck. At age 91, Bates came home again to visit family and friends. Lifelong fans honored him at a ceremony where he was presented with the Order of Palmetto, South Carolina's highest honor. To show his appreciation, he danced. So shout out to the legendary Clayton Pegleg Bates, who performed at this site of the Liberty Theater. And shout out to the city of Greenville for paying homage to Pegleg Bates with that really nice marker. But I really wish that the city could have preserved that, theater. Would have never allowed it to be demolished for a parking deck, because that's a very, very key part of history. You know what I'm saying? I wish they could have, prevented the city from, like a historical commission or some type of preservation commission could have came together and prevented that from happening. But nevertheless, shout out to Clayton Peg Leg Bates. And look at this really nice sculpture right here. It's actually of Peg Leg Bates, and it was sculpted by Joseph B. Thompson, and it looks like it's made out of metals, like some type of metal or iron or something of that sort. But it's a really cool sculpture, really nicely designed. So again, I guess they decided to shout out to Joseph Thompson for sculpting this, by the way. And the city of Greenville, is good that they decided to at least pay homage to Peg Leg Bates. I gotta do some homework on Peg Leg. Watch, maybe see if I could find some footage of him on YouTube or something. Find some footage of YouTube of Peg Leg Bates performing. He was on the Ed Sullivan Show 21 times. Wow. That was way before my time though, so I've heard of Ed Sullivan Show, but I never actually watched it. Again, way before my time. Back on Main Street, and y'all check this out. Before I proceed back down Main Street, over here on the corner of West Washington Street and Main Street is this sculpture commemorating the first black high school in Greenville County, called Sterling High School. The name of this sculpture is called Bless Her Name. And basically, just to give a backstory, during the Civil Rights era, the students of Sterling High School were the driving force that promoted the change of institutional segregational Greenville County. During the 1950s and 60s, Sterling students held demonstrations, marches, and rallies that finally integrated Greenville County Library and public accommodations. Now, if you rewind the video a few seconds, the gentleman in the pink shirt, I got a chance to speak with him off camera, and he is actually an attendee and alumni of Sterling High School. And he graduated back in 1963, 7 years prior to the school's closing. And I thought it was interesting because he was around during the height of the civil rights and Jim Crow era. And actually, I would like to visit the Sterling High School site next time I go back to Greenville and do another vlog. So I thought I'd point that out. Sterling was the incubator that produced known artists, attorneys, agriculturalists, business owners, ministers, educators, scientists, technicians, tradesmen, physicians, elected officials, and the presidential candidate nominee. Sterling Knights hold records as the first African Americans elected to the State House since Reconstruction, the first black graduates of Furman University, superintendent of the school district of Greenville County, and the first black female elected to Greenville City Council. So Sterling High School put out a whole bunch of historical figures throughout its history. And there are the Sterling Tigers. And here are just some of the markers right here. The Sterling Pride Society and the Sterling Tigers right here in different classes. As you can see, the principals right there throughout the history. And here are the names of different alumni carved out in the bricks. So really nice piece of history right here. It's called the Sterling Hall of Fame. And these are the Graham Foundation, John Smith Charities, Bilo, Daniel Mickle Foundation. These are the organizations that chipped in to put together this Sterling Hall of Fame. So shout out, really cool part of history right here in Greenville. Y'all check this out. They have a team store for a soccer team right here in Greenville, South Carolina. It's called the Greenville Triumph. It's a pro soccer team. So that's pretty cool. I didn't know they had a pro soccer team in Greenville, South Carolina. I guess it goes to show you how fast growing this city is. Poppington's popcorn. Okay. First National Bank building for TD Bank. This historic site, home of South Carolina's first nationally chartered bank in 1873, has served as the cornerstone of the spirit of community banking in Greenville ever since. TD Bank is honored to uphold the banking heritage that put South Carolina first. So apparently this site has served as the bank since 1873 for Greenville. Check out this sculpture right here. It looks like a sculpture of a wild boar, sculpted in 2011 by the Young Friends of Florence, Greenville, South Carolina. It's a really dope sculpture. It's called Tu Porcelino. It's really nice, really nice. Sits in front of this TD Bank building on Main Street. And they have this little spring. It's called Poinsett Spring. Check it out. Poinsett Spring, the granite basin which stood over a spring on a toll road, was built in 1820 under the direction of Joel Poinsett, South Carolina's first commissioner of public works. The road established the commercial links between South Carolina and neighboring states of Tennessee and North Carolina. So this was located in northern Greenville County to provide refreshment for weary travelers. In 1956, the road through Saluda Gap was abandoned and the historic basin was donated to the Poinsett Hotel. Poinsett Bridge, built in 1820. The Poinsett Bridge is the oldest bridge in South Carolina. The 14-foot Gothic arch spans a creek that was part of the state road running from Charlotte to North Carolina, or Charleston in North Carolina. So yes, you can they actually have directions to where you can get to the Poinsett Bridge, listed right here on the marker, as you can see right here. So really nice, really nice. Sits in front of this Westin Hotel. Here's the historic Westin Hotel. And that fountain that we just saw, the Poinsett Fountain, was actually named after Joel Roberts Poinsett, who was born in Charleston, South Carolina, and educated in this country and Great Britain. He traveled widely in Europe and Asia before returning to a distinguished career, and he served in the South Carolina State Senate in between 1816 and 1820, and was also the chairman of the Board of Works in 1820. He represented South Carolina in Congress between 1821 and 25 and was the first American minister to Mexico and Secretary of War. So another important nugget of history associated with South Carolina. Here goes a sculpture right here. Let me get a closer up of the sculpture. Here's the sculpture. And this sculpture is of Vardry McGee, or Vardry McBee rather. Vardry McBee is deemed the father of Greenville, and he has this quote right here that was quoted in 1852. A man should be prudent and careful without seeming to be so, in character, information, propriety, friends, and money, and in everything never neglecting his friends. No truer words have been spoken. Vardry McBee, 1852. And again, here's a sculpture of him right here. Old Greenville County Courthouse.
We are dust. When we die, our bodies go.
And there's actually a statue of Poinsett over there on the court square.
And it's Satan, that serpent we made known as the dust seer, the eater of mankind. Under belly will fall.
Now this building right here is actually Greenville City Hall.
He knows now.
Cross right here.
The duty that he had, because of sin entering into the world, would not become purified.
So now when we did it, we had like 1 or 2 games where
This is really cool right here. Fountain. And this is called the Poinsett Society Fountain, dedicated by the Carolina First Bank. And it's in front of this Symphony Center. And here goes again Greenville City Hall right here. Courtyard by Marriott. Let me go down here real quick. Check this out. Yeah, there's nice waterfalls down here. And it's right out here outside the Courtyard Marriott. Check out these sculptures right here. This sculpture was by, I believe it's pronounced Tuan, master sculptor. It's called Meditation. Very spiritual meaning to it. And right around these flowers. So it's very symbolic sculpture. And it says, with each breath and every note, the sweetness of the flute mesmerizes my very soul. And as it does, I find myself deep in meditation and at peace with all humanity. Yes, definitely. It looks like she's playing the flute too. But yeah, you definitely got to be at peace with humanity and meditate, you know, be at peace with the world as a whole, you know. And this one is also done by Twan, and it's called Reminiscence. And Reminiscence, it says, a brief moment of the past filled with various emotions. I contemplate on a dream, a desire to fulfill my destiny, a yearning to complete my goals. I travel through time in my thoughts. The ethereal energy to create that dream has become reality I remember. So really nice sculptures that definitely tap into your spirituality. There's a couple more hotels down this way. At the corner of Main Street and Broad Street. And this building right here in Grand Plaza is called the Peace Center, and that's the outside of the Peace Center right over here. I don't know if this is a museum or a convention center. This looks like it could potentially be like some type of theater. But they have this nice fountain out here. And they have this nice sculpture, Zan Wells. This sculpture is by Zan Wells and Charles Pate. So it's him sitting here. It says education really matters. And I believe this sculpture is of Richard Riley. You can see right here. South Carolina Governor, U.S. Secretary of Education, South Carolina Senate, and the House member. So yeah, right outside Peace Hall. So it's actually a Peace concert hall. So really nice sculpture. Whoever sculpted these pieces of these colorful animals, sculpted out of iron, was really on their artistic endeavors and journey. So look at this. You got not only do you have the colorful plants, you have the colorful sculptures of a flamingo, a giraffe over there. And this is really cool. Got a mushroom right there. And even more sculptures made out of iron over here. It's really dope. And it sits outside this AC hotel. It sits around a few other hotels as well. But I just thought I'd come over here and highlight these really nice masterpieces over here. Right over here at the corner of Main and Broad Street. I'm over here by the Channel 7 local CBS affiliate here in Greenville, right here in the West End district. And over in this area is a shopping, dining, and entertainment district known as Camperdown. So it looks really nice up there. And the name of this building right here is called the Falls Tower. So this area looks a little bit more upscale than the rest of downtown, as you're gonna see. But the overall, the downtown is you know, really nice, very modernized for the most part. It looks like they've done a lot of revitalization projects throughout the years. You even have this sculpture right here. Is this like supposed to be a dog and a rabbit? Wow, this is interesting. It's a really nice sculpture. But it's called Tandem Lovers by Gillian Mark, done in 2024. So shout out to Gillian Mark. Really nice sculpture. And by the way, the bunny has some heels on, and so they really nice. She has a green dress, and the dog right here has the suit and the nicely shined shoes. Very, very nice. But we're getting closer. We're over here by Falls Park. And check that out, y'all. It's right over here on the Reedy River. They even have waterfalls, hence the name Falls Park. You can see the falls right here. But there's another part of the park too. It looks like they're doing some construction over there. You have Harper General Contractors. You see the bridge over there. And you also see there's a Hampton Inns hotel. There's some apartment buildings, it looks like. Luxury apartment buildings. And there's a pedestrian bridge right there. So they're building something else over here. So they're just adding to the already nicely developed park over here. And again, this is the West End district of the city, so it's just slightly west of downtown. It's a really cool place to hang out. But in just a minute, I'm gonna go over to the other part of Falls Park, because there's a lot of history over there, a lot of cool stuff to check out. So just want to come get this area over here. And they even tell you all the different things that they have to offer over there, down there on this walk down there. It's called River Place, and nice sculpture right there as well. But stay tuned, I'm about to walk down to the Reedy River Falls Park. Finally made it to Reedy River Falls Park, so we're gonna walk around and get some really nice footage and some history of this area. So, you know, right over here, of course, starting off, we're gonna start off with the ducks and the gooses, or the ducks and the geese, I should say. Geese is plural for goose. But yeah, it's really cool over here. Then we're gonna take a walk down the river and check out some of the very scenic parts of Greenville. Can't wait to get over to that bridge and walk across the bridge over there. Looks like that's going to be a whole lot of fun. And I guess if you're really feeling adventurous, I see some people on the other side, like look like they was actually walking down towards the, like walking on some of the rocks. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get a really good view of the waterfall. Y'all check this out. Check out this breathtaking view of the water park, or the waterfall. And there goes the bridge right there as well. It's called the Liberty Bridge. We're gonna walk across that bridge in just a second. You gotta listen to those relaxing waters hitting those rocks. All right, let's proceed. And like I said, it's very important to come to places like this because, you know, of the nature and the tranquility, and to be at peace with the universe, for sure. And this is a marker, historical marker, basically saying that this is the cradle of Greenville, and near this spot, before the adoption of the Declaration of Independence, Richard Pierce, best known of all pre-revolutionary white settlers in the surrounding Cherokee Indian Nation, established his home with a grist mill and trading post. Around this location grew up the community of Greenville Courthouse, laid out in 1797, the county seat for the Greenville district. In marking this site, the cradle of Greenville, and building thereon its permanent home, the citizens in Southern National Bank of Southern Carolina finds pleasure in thus saluting a community widely acclaimed for its commercial, industrial, and civic progress, spanning almost 200 years of its life. So, yeah, that's a little bit of a background of this area. So we're about to walk across the Liberty Bridge, but I think there's a couple more things I want to see before we walk across the bridge, which will be pretty interesting. Which I find, and I think you guys will find it interesting as well. Including this sculpture right here. And here's some history as it pertains to the falls and the industry. So the waterfall and this river played a key part in the development of the industry here in Greenville. So beginning in the late 1700s, water-powered industries clustered along the Reedy River, including trading posts, grist and corn mills, sawmill and ironworks, the Gower, Cox and Markley Coach Factory, a paper-making factory and armory. A century later, Greenvillians established textile and apparel mills along its banks. The mills discharged their waste and excess dyes into the river, and the Reedy began to suffer from the spoils of progress. By the mid-20th century, downtown Greenville stretch of the Reedy River was so severely polluted by upstream textile mills that once pristine and popular falls became desolate and unsafe. Yeah, so when you have developments and you have the industry, you know, all that waste gets into the water, damages the water, pollutes it, and yeah, and it definitely also affects the water supply, you know. And this was the Vargery Mill, built in 1873, and this is also the Vargery Mill, and the Vargery McBee Mill appears right. So they had mills built around this river and around these falls, as you can see. And this was back in, again, the 1870s. So this is just a little information. This is a camper down bridge right here, which obscured the views of the falls. Camper down bridge in 1970. And it was in 1960, a 4-lane camper down bridge, state highway vehicle crossing, was erected over Reedy River Falls, obstructing them from view and casting the area into shadow. The area surrounding the river declined, and many residents were unaware that the falls even existed. Beginning in 1967, the Carolina Foothills Garden Club spearheaded efforts to reclaim the long-neglected site of Greenville's birthplace. Furman University deeded 6 acres to the city to establish Reedy River Falls Historic Park, and for the next 2 decades, the Garden Club and the city worked together to protect, expand, and develop the area. So, you know, the landscape designer Robert Miller developed a detailed vision and plan for the park, one that could only be fully realized with the removal of the highway bridge. So yeah, the highway bridge obstructed the views of this waterfall park, and which is really interesting to learn, considering that, you know, you have these waterfalls and they definitely deserve to be viewed, you know. And Furman University also used to be located nearby. They moved there back then. They moved their university campus like northwest of the city.
Okay, I don't know.
But check out this sculpture right here. See if I can get closer up to it. This is a sculpture of a couple of the Cherokee Indians. The Cherokee Indians right here, who were the original inhabitants of this land near the waterfall. So I just thought I definitely had to come get this. So let me get, these are my people right here. So let me get in the frame right here. Shout out to the Cherokees. And I guess this is supposed to be some type of hotel or something. Wow. But this sculpture right here, this red sculpture, is called Untitled. Untitled 2002 to 2003. And this was done by Joel Shapiro. Shout out to Joel Shapiro for this nice sculpture. So we're about to walk across the Liberty Bridge without further ado. And for those who don't know, they have, it was called a dismount zone. So if you're riding on a bicycle or a skateboard, you would basically have to dismount and just walk your skateboard or your bicycle across the bridge. But yeah, there goes the Liberty Bridge, established 2004. This is some information about the falls reclaimed, so you guys can freeze frame this video to get information about that if you want to read it. Basically, Falls Park was dedicated in 2004. We're going to take this walk across the bridge. This is my first video walking across a bridge with some waterfalls in the background, so, you know, really cool, really cool. So check that out though. Now, the Liberty Bridge was designed by architect Miguel Rosales, who was a native of Guatemala. Now, the Liberty Bridge is the only curvilineal suspension bridge in the United States. It spans 345 feet and rises 50 feet above the Reedy River. And Rosales, a renowned architect, used his expertise on bridge aesthetics to design this modern marvel that was designed and opened up in 2004 to the public. Wow. Very relaxing. And remember, there's also trails down here. As you can see, there's walking trails. I'm guessing you can ride your bike down that way.
They've got lavender. I was going to do lavender, but I was like, that could go one of two ways.
Yeah, but that's the end of the bridge right there. Right here, Falls Park. And they even have this bistro right at the end. It's really cool. Nice sculpture right here. It's called Fall Lake Falls. The sculpture is called Fall Lake Falls, and it was sculpted by Brian Hunt. Shout out to Brian Hunt for this really nice sculpture right here, leading into Falls Park. That being said, guys, this will conclude the Greenville, South Carolina video. There's a lot more of the city that I'm gonna plan on covering on a future video for Greenville. So stay tuned for that. But thank you guys for watching this vlog. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you tap the like button. And also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. That way you get notified each and every time I drop a new vlog. And when you hit the notification bell, make sure you tap all. That in mind, good people. Thanks again. See you guys on the next one. Peace.